I wish on a string, and all the world is out again. Every time you wanna be coming, and everyone they know, all around the world they go. Can you feel it in your heart? Can you feel it in your heart, baby? What you wanna be with me? Coming from my heart, coming from my soul, baby, my wish on a string. Mm-hmm. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Hmm. Thursday night. Let's see. Hopefully people will start showing up soon. Oh, okay. Hey, Woody. Okay, just checking some other stuff here. Hey, ahoy there. Hey, Woody. How you doing tonight? How'd your day go today? Now we got two people in here. Now let's see if we can get some more. Throughout the day today, the share button was not working, but I guess they finally got the share button working again on the stream. So if you can like and share and help get the word out, that'd be appreciated. ATC's in the house too. Yeah. Hey there. Hey ATC, what's up, man? How'd your day go today? You guys can remember to like and share and see if we can get the word out so we can get some more people in here. That'd be appreciated. Let's see. Things are great, huh? How are things great there, Woody? At the 5 minute mark here. Hmm. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm strong to the finish 'cause I eat my spinach. Popeye the Sailor Man. Toot toot. Some good news from a doctor's office. So can I take a wild guess that he gave you a completely clean bill of health there, Woody? Hmm. Can I take a wild guess that he gave you a good clean bill of health there, Woody? How about you, ATC? How are you doing tonight? You gonna be lurking around tonight? Okay, I'll assume even though you're not responding there, Woody, that's a yes. I guess that usually what happens when you get good news from a doctor is usually it means you've been given a clean bill of health. Good clean bill of health. Hmm. Oh, there we go. See what he posted up here. Cleaner than it used to be a year ago. I actually was having surgery this morning before you had knucklehead on. Oh, the morning before you had the knuckleheads on, and the follow up prognosis is very good. Ah, that sounds pretty good. I'm doing well. Laugh out loud. Was bored singing, and made up a Lude song parody to the Labyrinth soundtrack. Okay, looks like we have a fourth person here today. Hello, fourth person. Good to hear, Woody. Yep, that is good to hear. Looks like we have a fourth person. Well, hello, fourth person. How are you doing tonight? Hope all is well with you. As always, guys, I always appreciate all the likes and shares I can get. Let's see. Did anyone congratulate Trump on his win? Um, Not that I know of. I know that the Democrats are still saying that he didn't win. Honestly, I think it's going to end up going to the court because you know um, it's pretty much a nail biter right now, and there's obvious there's been obvious signs of fraud perpetrated by the Democrats. I did see on a new on C-SPAN this morning. I guess there was a suit brought against the state of Nevada by a lady who said that she was denied entry into a polling place or something like that, or she wasn't allowed to vote because they claimed she had already voted. I know Trump has already filed suit. He's filed suit in a number of the battleground states. Um, he's filed suit for a recount in Wisconsin. He's filed suit for basically not being allowed to monitor the count. in Michigan and Pennsylvania. They won in Pennsylvania, but they still are not being allowed back in yet. Um, and then I know a couple of things that came up through Project Veritas. One was in Detroit. They had shown a video up the other day of somebody from the Trump team being escorted out, and then today it was revealed that a mailman acknowledged that some of the post offices are doing some sketchy things in Wayne County. So it's going to be a long winter. Yep, it is, because the Democrats are going to try to push it as far as they can. Long game, he wins. Yeah, I mean, yeah, a lot of places were doing weird things, and of course, this is all in the very you know Democrat controlled cities too. Okay, Trump had built up large leads in the rural areas and even in some in suburb. In fact, there was, according to most of the exit polls that I've heard, he actually gained with just about. It's kind of funny because here's the thing: a lot of people were saying, "Well, Trump's a white supremacist. Trump's a white supremacist." Yeah, as Dan Bongino put it, he must be the worst white supremacist there is because he gained. I think he basically gained in all racial demographics. The only place he lost was actually with whites. So like we lost somebody. 130% voter turnout. Yeah. Um, there's already even been some acknowledgement that in some area, like again, Detroit being one of them, like I remember watching Anthony Brian Logan stream earlier, or not his stream, but one of his videos earlier, where you had, I guess, in Michigan, you had a 118-year-old man who died back in 1984, apparently voted in this election. And you had another case in Texas where you had a 120-year-old woman who has also been dead for a while, supposedly voted in this election. So, so yeah, the Democrats really hated the idea, and some establishment Republicans hated the idea that Trump was president, and they were going to do anything they can to get him out of office. Their shenanigans are being exposed here. So, and the thing is that looks like the Republicans, conservatives have maintained control of the Senate and have gained some seats in the House. So that's going to make, even if Biden happens to win, um, it's going to make he's going to, as Dan Mondino was saying, it's going to make him the lamest of lame ducks. But I think everybody's hoping he win. And in essence, I don't even know, even if Biden wins, if he's going to really be president for that long. Because my gut feeling is once inauguration hits and he gets sworn in, then they're gonna utilize the 25th Amendment to get him out of there, claim that he's unfit. So he's basically been used as a puppet. So, anyways, so now we're at the 15-minute mark here. Excuse me for one quick moment. So we have 3 people in here now. I will let me do a couple quick announcements before I go in here. First off, as basically for the rest of this week tonight, I'm gonna cover like five news items bounding into comics, three anime, two comic stuff. Then tomorrow night. Now, Batgoat hasn't been here at all this week. Now I know at the beginning of the week he was more over like on Nick's, for the election coverage and stuff like that. So, but Batgoat hasn't been here at all this week. So I know he's probably. Well, actually, I think he was here on Monday, so he might have dropped it on Monday. Um, but if I don't hear from him and he's not able to come on tomorrow night, I'll open up for anybody who wants to co-host with me. I'll probably be going through, um, be continuing that little series we started. Looking back at comics. Probably trying to finish up 1935 and then going in. Maybe getting started on 1936 a little bit there. So that's how the rest of the week is going to pan out here. Let's see. Um, So with that, let's excuse me one more time here. Sorry, guys. Oh, looks like we have four people back. Hello, fourth person again. Um, as always, guys, I always, of course, appreciate likes and shares. Cheney Gerhardt has joined us. Hello, Cheney. Wish StreamYards would really. There we go. Now I see your chat there. First time catching the stream in a bit, and oh my God, your hair. Yep, yep. I did that last week. I just, you know, if it gets too hot or if I get tired of basically eating my hair as I'm trying to eat my food, then I'll just chop it all off. And of course, as always, any likes and shares would be greatly appreciated. Get some more people in here. Welcome again, Cheney. Hopefully you'll find this stream good. Anyway, so let's get going on and look at some of the news items for tonight. So, I said I'm going to do five stories tonight. Do five stories, three from the realm of anime, two from comics. So, um, without no further ado, let's get ourselves going here. Hope you guys are ready because we're about to take it. Oh, we're about to take it to the mic stand. Okay, first article we're going to look at here is this one. CBR, I'm guessing comic book reviews, takes issue with One Piece's female characters, claims Oda's designs reinforce harmful stereotypes. Okay, so here we go. A recent op-ed published by CBR has claimed that One Piece mangaka um, Eiichiro Oda's female character designs reinforce harmful stereotypes. Though the pieces supporting arguments suggest either a general unfamiliarity with or an intentional bad faith assessment of the long running manga series. So basically, I guess somebody just happened to take a look at One Piece one day, not understanding the nature of the series, and once again, you got the salt flowing. Sounds like. In the October 31st piece titled One Piece, What Oda's Female Character Designs Actually Say about beauty standards. Oh boy. Classic argument again. Oh boy, okay. CBR author Vivian So contended that Oda's female characters are either hyper feminine or outlandishly bizarre, with barely any in between, and that the characters' personalities correlate with the design. Yeah, it is a manga. So what if the characters are sensationalized? That's why people usually read manga is to escape reality. Duh, right? Duh. Uh, uh, uh. Yeah. So okay. So continuing on here, then beautiful characters are usually damsels in distress or burgeoning heroines, whereas bizarre characters are usually unscrupulous villains or comic relief, argued So. With this divide, Oda's female character designs often perpetuate the idea that beauty equates to goodness or lack of agency. Okay. This girl probably doesn't get out much. Uh, Immediately off the bat, So's first argument falls apart in the face of even the most base knowledge of the series, as beautiful characters such as Perona and Alvida, the literal first female and antagonist Luffy meets in his quest to become the king of the pirates, are depicted as some of the series' most capable antagonists, while women with quote unquote bizarre appearances, such as Curly Dadan, Lola, and Shinobu, are shown to be some of the most heroic individuals to come to the aid of the Straw Hat Pirates. Okay, interesting stuff there. You look at the artwork there. Nevertheless, So then turned to the issue of One Piece's rampant same body syndrome and asserted that Oda's three circles and an X, oh boy, technique for drawing females emphasizes the lack of care put into many of the female character designs, making for a roster of nearly cookie cutter characters, which in turn helps to reinforce harmful stereotypes. It's a mangaka, it's a comic. It's not meant to reflect real world. You twit. Many slim characters are depicted as heroic at heart or are essentially damsels in distress. So said villains or canonically strong females who are pretty are also no exception, as they too are cast to the sidelines and often have no featured or well developed fight. Yeah, but then wouldn't that be going against your um supposed agenda there? I mean, uh Oda's drawing technique was revealed in the SDS Shitsuman o Boshu Suru, or I'm taking questions section of One Piece's 79th volume when, in response to a fan asking Oda to please teach us a tip or two on how to draw that hot hourglass body all One Piece female characters seem to have, um, it specifically requested Oda to make sure you don't forget to include their airbags. I guess that's code word for breast. Um, Oda replied, I would suggest that you think of a woman's proportions as three circles, one X. I don't draw this kind of body, Oda noted, so I get a lot of complaint postcards from my female audiences. Let's all stay strong and keep on living life. Okay, I guess he's got a point there. Three circles, because I guess I can see his point there. Why you call it three circles, and the next because you got the one circle to act as the head, the other two circles to act as the breast, and then the X to make the basically the structure of the frame, the body frame. So let's see if I guess nobody's commenting more on this yet. So continuing on then, the observation that the more conventionally attractive woman in One Piece are sidelined as damsels in distress could not be further from the truth. As aside from the pair of female crew members aboard the Thousand Sunny, attractive women such as Carrot, Kozuki Toki, and Portgas D Rogue. I wonder if that's supposed to be some play on like Portia de Rossi. Anyways, regularly play major roles in determining the outcome of numerous events across the sea. Furthermore, the claim that attractive female villains are cast to the sidelines and often have no featured or well developed fight is patently hyperbolic, as Monet, Khalifa, and Sugar are among the most memorable throughout all of One Piece. Maybe it's more. Maybe they don't have quote unquote have a well developed fight because maybe they don't need a well developed fight to heighten that aspect. I mean, if they are a strong female, you know, maybe those characters could be much like Cheshire or Lady Shiva in DC or Lady Deathstrike in Marvel, right? Um, though notes that some female characters are cast to the sidelines and often have no featured or well developed fight, she appears to willfully ignore that the same happens to numerous male characters and how more often than not their sidelining is due to the crew's constant travels across the expansive numbers of islands across the sea. Yeah, because show is probably one of those. It's oh, you got to look at the woman, the woman, the woman, the woman. Conversely, Show also asserted that the bizarre women drawn by Oda were solely seen as villains, comic relief, or both, depicted as evil, vulgar, and or blockheaded, and claimed that they are often reduced to a joke for failing to adhere to the beauty standards of the other female characters. Again, Shou's portrayal of the series' more unique character designs only holds weight if one were to dismiss nearly the entirety of the One Piece's long run, as Oda's bizarre female characters, much like its beautiful ones, are seen in a wide range of roles throughout the series and are far from stereotyped as villains. Sounds like somebody just who doesn't have life, who's just looking for something to complain about, huh? Wouldn't you guys say that's the case? Ah, Cheney's got a couple things to say here. Let's see what he has to say. A certain type of I gotta, okay. A certain type of people just have a compulsion to ruin things. For others, it's like a mind virus. They can't let others enjoy things and move on. We need to protect our hobbies and interests. True, that's true, Cheney. That's true. There's basically zero female characters in One Piece that is useless or without some strength that makes them unique. Yeah, to me, it sounds like this lady So is just it's just she just kind of like one day just came along, didn't seem to have anything better to do with herself, so she decided to open up a One Piece manga and then just totally try to find what it's like some kind of like compulsion of hers to let's look and see what we can find wrong today with this. I think that's basically what's going on there. So, anyways, back to the article. Um, while some, such as Charlotte Linlin, or Miss Monday, are indeed seen as villains, this is due to their monstrous and destructive actions, rather than as any sort of commentary on their physical appearances. Yes, you can. Here's the thing that they also want to seem to forget too. Some of the most beautiful women who have ever existed in the world have turned out to be some of the most evil monsters on the inside, right? Delilah comes to mind. um, so, I mean, similarly, other bizarre women are seen as heroic pillars of their communities, as is the case of Kokoro or the Boa sisters, Marigold, and Sandersonia, without whose actions Luffy and his crew would have never made it nearly as far as they have. I take it these are the Boa sisters right here. Honestly, granted, I know they probably have they're probably reptiles, but they don't look all that bad. They do look to a certain amount, pretty. Cho concluded her argument by asserting that although One Piece is shonen, The series is also widely enjoyed by female audiences. And if that's the case, then why if these character designs were so problematic, then why would they have a female audience? And uses the assertion to further claim that One Piece's art style does not do a large portion of its readers justice. The three circles and X template can create misleading ideations about about women gathered so. They are over sexualized, objectified by the male gaze again, and subjected to the fetishization of only physically attractive women needing protection and attention. Oh boy. I kind of wonder what Miss So actually looks like. You guys wonder that? This lady, this writer, Miss So, I wonder what she actually looks like. Could maybe her poisoned tongue here be um deflecting something a little bit here, or projecting something here a little bit? This line of argument has recently gained traction in certain online anime communities, with many pointing to female readers of Shonen Jump and other previously male centric media as evidence that the content provided must change. No, it doesn't. First up, you said it right there, male centric media, which means that it's initially designed for boys. You twit. Um, and if you have a lot of girls who like the comic, who like the manga too, Miss So, you're an absolute idiot. However, as best addressed by the 2008 Shonen Jump series Bakuman, One Piece and similar works are serialized in Shonen Jump, a magazine aimed at boys. Shonen Jump has a lot of female fans, and that's not a bad thing, argues fictional Shonen Jump editor Goro Miura in the series. Those female fans are interested in reading shonen manga. If you use the suggestions from the fan mail, you're going to end up catering to girls. Yes, your work is serialized in Shonen Jump magazine aimed at boys. Your job is to create an engaging shonen manga. But those female fans are interested in reading shonen manga. If you tried to create something specifically targeted at girls, we wouldn't let you. It's just not what our magazine does. Shonen Jump has a lot of female fans, and that's not a bad thing. That's the panel there. And basically, here's the argument too. Here's another argument to take into consideration too. If you want, and I think the term in Japanese is choji or dojinshi. I don't know which. Maybe it's doji or doji or whatever. But um, if you want to make comics aimed at girls, fine. Go out and find a dojinshi publisher then to write for, if that's what you really want to do. And I'm sure there, just as there are female fans of shonen manga, there are probably male fans of doujinshi, if I'm using the term right. I hope I am. But in his coverage of show's piece, anime YouTuber Hirohei wished that CBR would just stick to those really cringy top 10 lists. Uh, um, and they have the video curb your One Piece controversy. At least you kind of wonder if they're memeing with those, said Hay, before lamenting that sometimes, unfortunately, they don't do, they don't, they don't, they do get unironic articles like this one. And there you go. That's the first article we're looking at tonight. You guys have any thoughts? Any more thoughts on that than what I've already kind of pointed out? Not, well, move on to the next article then. Excuse me a moment, guys. I've got to step away from the computer for a moment or two, for a few moments. So I'll be right back. All right, I'm back now. Let's see. New comments now. Okay, so let's move on to the next story here then. Western VTubers become latest group to take offense to to use of term trap. The you and I know there've been some coverage on this, I know Hey covers a lot of the VTuber stuff, so the use of the term trap has become a widespread point of contention among Western VTubers after its usage was allowed in a community Discord server. Now, as I understand it, the way they use trap, it's like meant as a case of trying to fool people, basically, implying that the VTuber image is female, but it may be a male behind it. So, um, anyway, the controversy surrounding the term trap was first brought to the attention of the Western VTuber community by VTuber uh, Ryiri, who recently took issue with the term after she discovered that fellow VTuber Domo allows the word trap or TR star P to be used in what she believed was their personal Discord server. Bleep that server, Riri asserted. I'm actually shocked. I thought better from Domo to be, TBH. I guess here's okay. We just read that. Okay, that was the actual tweet right there. In an announcement posted in the accused Discord, a server mod specifically noted how people have also become oversensitive over the smallest words like the R word and T word, or trap. Um, we are not anime memes mods. We are for speech, they clarified. Do not DM us mods over words like trap and the R word. Some of you already know how I feel about the R word. Okay, so um, bad words are anything racist, homophobic, etc. Following Ruri's initial tweet, numerous other Western VTubers took to their personal Twitter accounts to express their disgust towards the term's general use and criticize Domo for the alleged rules of his server. The word trap reflects a horrible real life mentality that often gets trans people killed, claimed at Chicken Nuggets. Oh yeah, that's where the term came from. It was the idea that um, trans people, people thinking they're one gender but they're actually another. That's where that all came from. I'm pretty sure that I've made it abundantly clear with my post in the past, but transphobia is absolutely not welcome in my community or in my circle in any way. At Aurora the Ram similarly accused the trap meme of originating from a stereotype that a trans woman that trans women are not real women and are only trans to trick men into sleeping with them, and declared that the word is derogatory no matter how it's used. Okay. So here's the second part of the tweet that wasn't covered before. That's why they are called traps, because the joke is you are being trapped into being gay. The word is derogatory no matter how it's used. Okay, so if you use the word trap when you're a bleeping idiot who needs to, um, then you're a bleeping idiot who needs to reassess your life. Ordered at Tairakage, um, before ironically asking others not to say bad things about people. There is already too much hate in this world for that. As previously noted in Bounding into Comics coverage of the attempt by anime meme mods to ban the use of trap from the subreddit, trap does not reference characters who are actively attempting to trick others into being attracted to them, but rather words of caution to one who may espouse attraction to an androgynous individual, not knowing that the trap is the opposite gender than what they are sexually attracted to. Let me see if anybody's saying anything here. Um, ATC said. And here I thought trap was a subgenre of music. Trap probably has many, many definitions there. There's the classic version, meaning, to be caught. A trap is something that, if you set a trap, you're setting something to be caught. So there's that definition. Excuse me a moment. And it looks like we lost somebody. Oh, well. Uh, Although it is commonly claimed that the term originated as a derogatory slur against transgender individuals, the term's first recorded use in this context was seen in 2010 when the subreddit trap subreddit or the Reddit trap subreddit noted on its sidebar that Reddit traps is for the posting of photos and video of young and beautiful trans girls and individuals who would love to trap. Content can be from or of anyone as long as they're passable and feminine. Eventually, a lengthy Twitter thread, re- um, eventually in a lengthy Twitter thread, Weary would announce that the situation was resolved after Domo told me his views do not align with those of the people in the Hollow Slaves Discord, and she was sufficiently convinced Domo does not own the Hollow Slaves Discord any longer, and that the admins have been somewhat educated on the situation. And here are the so that's the end of that. That's the end of that article. Let's see. Yeah. Woody's got something to say here. So does this mean that Admiral Akbar was politically incorrect? Admiral Akbar. Um, Character doesn't sound quite familiar to me, Woody. You're gonna have to enlighten me a little bit on that one. I'm not catching the reference there. And while I'm giving you a few moments to kind of respond, I'm gonna go ahead and get set for the next article. Oh, look at that picture. That's a nice looking picture right there. Excuse me a moment. So Woody, the reference that I'm missing the reference there. Admiral Akbar. Who exactly is that? He delivered the famous line, "It's a trap in Star Wars." He looks like a calamari. Okay, no wonder I didn't get the reference. I never got into Star Wars, so that's why I didn't get the reference. I never got into Star Wars. I know very little about Star Wars, so that's why. Okay, anyways, moving on to the. Well, let me check you. So we're coming up on the hour mark already, so we're making a decent time, it looks like. So here's the next story then. Adult anime retailer Otona JP reassures Australian delivery customers following reports of hentai ban. And I'm sure everybody's been hearing of late that Australia is cracking down on hentai. Um, so here we go. In light of the reports that Australia was enforcing a ban on the import of hentai and adult anime products into the country, adult anime retailer Otana JP has released a statement reassuring their customers that they will continue to ship anime related adult products to the land down under. Yeah, that looks kind of like a cute big. You got the little Australian girl with her hat on and the little koala bear. That's an interesting and cute kind of. Otona JP opened their statement by recalling that about 2 weeks ago, news arose that hentai and adult toys are now banned in Australia, and how the news, which was spread by some retailers, soon were picked up by other outlets, making the um, Onahole and hentai community living in Australia worried and feeling insecure. The Japan based retailer then noted their desire to straighten out a few things here without making this post too long, before stressing how we only speak on our behalf and cannot and will not comment on other retailers' petitions or statements. Look at that pic. Atona JP still ships to Australia with Japan Post as well as DHL. They stated directly Australia has already been one of the countries that has more strict rules in place than others when it comes to hentai content for quite some time. The truth, however, also is that many countries in the world have similar laws, and if worse comes to worse, customs officers in pretty much any country in the world can stop your package based on their laws if they consider the shown characters too young. So, so besides being stricter than others, the situation in Australia is not much different from the U.S. or even Europe. They concluded. Yeah, that's a nice looking girl there. Let's see. Let's see if anybody's got anything to say here. I didn't know that about you, Mike. A Star Wars denier. Yeah, I'm at. Yeah, if anything, I'm more Star Trek than Star Wars. There, Woody. I'm more Star Trek than anything else in that regard. So. As for what has changed for their Australian customers, Otana JP reassured those concerned that, to be honest, nothing would be different, at least not ordering from us. We are shipping well over 500 packages to Australia alone every month with no troubles, most of them with DHL, they explained. Sure, things can change and certain delivery options might not be available anymore in the future or change, but we will always continue to serve and support our Australian customers and the hentai community in Down Under. I guess right. Oh no, wait. Man in Brazil, 6'4", full of muscle. He said, "Do you speak my language?" He just smiled and took a bit of my cheese sandwich. He said, "Do you come from London under?" Oh, yeah. Anyways, it should be noted that Otana JP primarily specializes in adult toys and similar items rather than outright hentai anime, manga, and games. It is possible that though the packaging of some of these items features risque and sometimes explicit character artwork, the fact that these items are not a media form of quote unquote pornography may serve as a point of distinction in the eyes of Australian customs. However, as of writing, this remains speculation. So basically, Otana JP actually does more of the merchandise side of it. They don't really do as much like media. They don't really do the media side of it. They do more, the merchandise. So Star Wars was okay. Now just a shell of itself. Star Trek is better. Why? Why? How well as Star Trek is not as pop as it used to be either, but it never forced its views um, in the mouths of their fans. Yeah, well, it used to. Um, this latest batch of Star Trek stuff, though, is actually going in that direction. ATC. It would seem Picard, Star Trek Discovery, all that is actually pushing that. But you're right. The older stuff, the original series, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, um, Voyager and Enterprise, they never really try to shove it down your throat. For the most part, yeah. For their time periods, they did push the envelope a bit in terms of pushing, let's say, somewhat like left leaning agenda, if you want to call it that. I think everybody probably remember hearing about the scene between. I don't know if any of you heard about the story in regards to William Shatner and Nichelle Nichols, in which there was some issue about the two of them kissing because at the time, of course, in the 60s, the whole idea of interracial relationships like that um, was kind of forbidden. So they had to get around that by saying, "Oh, it was a forced kiss." Like they kissed each other because they were kind of forced to by the powers that be. So that's how they were able to get around that. Wait, oh, what are you talking about, Mike? There's nothing after Enterprise. Um, what I'm talking about, well, okay, you're right. In terms of the original continuity, in terms of the original continuity that can be traced back to Gene Roddenberry, you're absolutely right. ATC. Everything based on the original continuity of Star Trek. There is nothing that happened after Enterprise. However, I don't know if you've seen these. I myself have not watched them, but I've heard about them because I know Yellow Flash has actually talked about them a little bit too. There are these shows that I think are on Netflix under the Star Trek banner, supposedly. Two titles that come to mind, of course, are Star Trek Discovery and then Star Trek Picard, in which they've been kind of pushing a harder leftist agenda. I think in Picard, what they have him, you know, Picard once being considered one of the best diplomats within Star Trek history, now bemoaning the fact that it's become too complacent and isn't doing enough for its people, a la kind of bemoaning the fact that maybe Starfleet and the Federation aren't doing enough quote unquote social justice work. But you are right in terms of the original continuity. There is nothing after Enterprise. So, nope. You're speaking of things that aren't Star Trek. Those are parody. Ah, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, and I agree with your thought process there. I agree with your thought process there. ATC, I really do. Those, as I said, those are not part of the actual continuity or original continuity. Those are some SJW's interpretation of what they believe the Star Trek continuity should be. Okay, so yeah, you can argue that they are parodies. Um, so, so yeah. So anyway, so yeah, so that's a lot in the anime side of it. Um, let's look on to a couple of the comic book. I know one of these. I know I did see Yellow Flash cover it in a video earlier as well. But before we get to that one, let's look at this one right here. King Kong, Godzilla. Amazon listings offer new images of graphic novels tying into Godzilla versus King Kong is massive. Ho 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 ho. Uh, anyways, to this. Let's get to this next article here. Listings for prequel graphic novels starring Godzilla and Kong before they face off in Legendary Pictures' Big Showdown give us new images to feast our eyes upon. There's one image right there. The big lizard versus the big ape. The listings and images come from Amazon, but were picked up by Kaiju News Outlet. And there's the tweet right there from Kaiju News Outlet. Um, New images from the upcoming Godzilla vs. Kong prequel graphic novels, G vs. K, Kingdom Kong, and G vs. K, Godzilla Dominion have been revealed via listings on Amazon. Oh, there you go. There's the artwork right there. The image from Kong's graphic novel, GVK Kingdom Kong, answers a mystery from a prior image leaked months ago. Kong indeed fights the giant strange white tiger seen in the crater and obviously put him there. Have a better look for yourself. So here it is right here. Man, savage. Kingdom Kong's updated synopsis sets the stage for human characters, hotshot pilots, and a battle with the kaiju bat demon Kanazalt, frequently teased in concept art. Here's the concept art. It looks like right here. Give me a moment, guys. I gotta go off screen for just a moment here. All right, I'm back. Let's get to the next. So the synopsis reads: a sequel to the graphic novel Skull Island, Birth of Kong, and a prelude to the film Godzilla vs. Kong. The upcoming Kong prequel graphic novel will follow a group of highly skilled military pilots gathered together on Skull Island to see who has the right stuff to take on a dangerous mission into the Hollow Earth. One of the pilots, Audrey, is haunted by the memories of a monstrous clash with one of Godzilla's titanic rivals that left deep scars. When Skull Island is attacked by Kamazots, a bat-like titan, Audrey must come to terms with her inner demons and finding his home newly threatened. Kong must rise to face this usurper that would plunge the world into perpetual night. G vs. K Kingdom Kong is written by Marie Anello with art by Zid, legendary comic Skull Island, The Birth of Kong, Trick or Treat, Days of the Dead, Spectral Ghost of War. So Kingdom Kong is very much anchored by the interactions and perspectives of people by Marie Anella. It will be out on March 30th, priced $16.99. Godzilla's solo prequel is told from a different perspective, his own. The synopsis for GVK, Godzilla Dominion, teasing a day in the life of the king of the monsters, and his rumble with Kong reads, a unique story that picks up after the events of the film Godzilla King of the Monsters, where the Titans have risen and the reign of Godzilla has begun. As told entirely from Godzilla's point of view, the graphic novel brings new insights into the King of Monsters, his habitats, ancient rivalries, challenges, and encounters with new titans. As his new era of dominance is tested, a coming confrontation with another king looms. Better look at the image follows. It seems to show Godzilla in the water, fending off a mutated school of fish on the attack. Here we go here. Written by Greg Keyes, Godzilla Dominion is priced at $16.99 and goes on sale on March 30th. 2021 will be a banner year for Godzilla with the release of these prequel comics. The main event in Godzilla vs. Kong and Netflix's new anime series, Godzilla Singular Point, which we've been covering a lot of here on my live streams. So I guess nothing new in the comments yet. Give me a moment. Right, I'm back. So let's hit upon the last of these stories that going to hit. I know Yellow Flash also did a video on this earlier. DC Comics and Image Comics artist Michael Avon Owning draws fan art of Portland Antifa mayoral candidate Sarah um, Inarone. Inarone. So here we go. DC Comics and Image Comics artist Michael Avon Owning recently illustrated a piece of fan art in support of the openly admitted Antifa member and Portland mayoral candidate Sarah Iannarone. Owning, the current artist for Image's The After Realm, perhaps best known for co-creating the series Powers with Brian Michael Bendis, shared the artwork on the eve of various elections in the United States, one of which saw Ina Rone challenging incumbent Ted Wheeler for the position of Portland mayor. In the fan art, owning depicted Inarone in a traditional superhero pose, aka Clark Kent, opening her dress shirt to reveal a hidden superhero costume bearing the three arrow Antifa symbol. Sarah for Portland Mayor, Al Portland. Oh God. The whole situation reminds me of Captain Nazi, Marvel comics. Or not Marvel, but from Fawcett Comics. The three arrow symbol was first used by the Iron Front paramilitary group of the Weimar Republic and the Social Democratic Party of Germany as a symbol of resistance against extreme totalitarian ideologies on either side of the political spectrum. Before it came to represent resistance against Nazism, communism, and monarchism during the period of political turmoil within Germany during the 1930s. Gegen Japan, Hitler, Jalman. Jalman. Liste to Sozialdemokraten. The symbol is now used by Antifa supporters, seen when a sign featuring the image was unloaded from a U-Haul truck in Louisville, Kentucky earlier this year. Iana Arone previously voiced her support of and membership among Antifa in 2019, when she put herself forward as a peaceful example of an Antifa supporter in an attempt to push back against regular media and social media reports of growing instances of violence by the Black Bloc group. To those who say Antifa are violent thugs, I am not a violent thug and I am Antifa. Iana Rone declared during last year's Holocaust Memorial Day before accusing supporters of President Donald Trump, whom she refers to as red hats, of coming after brown and black people, after Jews, after queer and trans people, and more. You know, kind of fun. That just shows her level of ignorance. Because according to some of the reports I've actually heard from some of the exit polls, now granted, the exit polls are crappy this year, but according to some of the reports I've heard, President Trump actually improved in all of those minority categories. Kind of funny how they like painting him as a white supremacist when, if anything, he actually improved in all racial categories except for white. If anything, he fell back with whites. So he must be the worst white supremacist in the history of white supremacy. Just how ignorant these people are is just astounding. Um, in an August interview with the Portland news station KGW8, when asked if she would condemn the increasingly regular riots perpetrated by Antifa supporters in Portland, Iannarone refused, instead arguing that we need to understand these protests are a part of a healthy democracy, because peaceful protest, in my opinion, might not necessarily be moving the conversation forward. So she's for anarchy, basically. That's basically what she's saying. Again, and I've said this before. I kind of wonder how these people would feel if they're at the wrong end of the rioting and looting. I wonder how she'd actually feel if one of these people actually broke into her house and did something to her and or her family. Not that I'm advocating that, mind you, but how do you think she'd feel if people did to her what they're doing to a lot of these businesses? When asked if she specifically denounced the criminal activity being seen in the streets of Portland, such as lighting fires with people inside the building, Ina Rone avoided providing a straight answer. Of course she did. Instead, she pivoted to arguing that Antifa's outrage towards the police are valid and that problem of police brutality and executing black lives in the street is more important than petty vandalism. Oh, oh God. Following Oning's initial sharing of the fan art, Ina Rone would post it to her personal Twitter account, thanking the thanking the Cave Carson has an interstellar eye artist for the amazing fan art. And for those of you who don't know Cave Carson is, he's one of the more minor characters in DC. I believe he started back in the 60s. He was a spelunker, or basically a cave explorer. So, um, just to let you guys know. For the amazing fan art and encouraging voters to please turn in your ballots. And here's the fan art again. Unfortunately for Inarone, despite her best efforts, she ultimately lost her bid for election to to Mayor Wheeler. Her bid for election to Mayor Wheeler by approximately 5 points. So there you go. So that's all of the stories. Hey, unknown existence. Where have you been, my friend? Haven't seen you in a while. Hello. Hopefully, you're finding the content enjoyable, informative. Excuse me a moment. Hello. Busy with stuff. Well, I'm glad you're here. Glad you joined us. Um, yeah, so we went through like 5 stories tonight, basically. Um, some anime stuff, Um, I know you can always go back and look over the stream later, get caught up on. We had like 3 anime stories and a couple of comic stories. Last one here being the Portland mayor race and the artwork and all that. So, oh yeah. So let's see. We're already at the hour and a half mark, so that's good. So I was able to get through that point. So Anything else you guys want to ask me or talk about? Any idea what Toy Bounty Hunters is doing? Um, Not really, because I haven't seen him on lately. As I understand it, from the last time I talked to him, which was probably like a month or so ago, I know I saw him what was it, a week or two ago on one of Crow's streams, Crow Judgment streams. But I think he's been busy with stuff in his real life, his like his work stuff and stuff like that. That's why he hasn't been on much of late. From what I understand, I think he's going to be fairly busy for the rest of the year here, so we might not see him on streaming too much, which is a shame because obviously I'd like to get him on here to talk neat stuff. When he's got some time, but I'm sure like you, he's just busy with stuff going on in his own life. Anyways, excuse me one more time. Sorry, guys. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. So, unless you guys have anything else you guys want to talk about or ask about, I may just start wrapping this up. With this day in each history. Um, just a reminder to those of you who came in a little late here. Tomorrow night I will be continuing. Tomorrow night I'll be continuing the Golden Age retrospect that we started. Hopefully, Backup will be here to join me. If not, I might open up the studio to see if anybody else would like to co-host or for that. So, with that being said, hold on. Once again, I've got to. Oh, of course, I also appreciate any likes or um, looks like we're down to two people here, so I appreciate any likes or um, appreciate any likes and or shares you guys can give me. Um, get the word out a bit more. So let's see. Anything else? Again, one last time here. Anybody? Anything else you guys want to ask? Or guess there's only one other person in here. So, um, all right. So, are you guys ready for this day in niche history? Then today is Thursday, November the 5th, 2020. So we're going to take a look back at this day in niche history. Let me just remind myself of a few things here. 5, 1990, 2000, and 2005. Okay. So here we go. So on this, so as we now look back in time on this day, on this November 5th, date November 5th, let's take a look back at what's happened on this day in Nietzsche history, November 5th. So first off, on this date, um, 75 years ago today, the debut issue of All Top Comics went on newsstands from Fox Publications. It was obviously more of a humor and a humor comic with anthropomorphic characters. Um, so on this date, 75 years ago today, in 1945, um, the debut issue of All Top Comics went on newsstands from Fox Publications. Hey, Anonymity, you're late. Uh, hey, just got home. Yeah, you missed most of the show too. Uh, you can always go back and check it out later. But you're here for the this day in each history because I'm decided to wind down here. Um, with that, let's go on. Today being November 5th, I just mentioned that 75 years ago, the debut issue of All Top Comics from Fox Publications went on sale on this date in 1945. So moving on to our okay. Good, I'm hungry. Okay. So now let's move on to the next piece of news here. On this date in 1990, from Memphis, Tennessee, from the Mid South Coliseum, I believe, Terry Funk would defeat Jerry Lawler for the USWA heavyweight title. So on this date in 1990, which was 30 years ago today, Terry Funk would defeat Jerry Lawler for the USWA heavyweight title. Now moving on to the next bit of history here. Okay, so on this date back in the year 2000, which was 20 years ago today, The Simpsons marked their 250th episode of the series all time on this date, with the second episode of the 12th season, A Tale of Two Springfields, with notable guest appearances, the band The Who and Gary Coleman. So on this date, 30 years ago today, the Simpsons episode A Tale of Two Springfields, with guest stars The Who and Gary Coleman, would premiere on Fox Network. So now as we head to the last bit of, and we got four people back. Good, that's good to see. Um, let's hit up one last piece of niche history before we close everything out for the night. And that happened on this day in 2005 in Japan. The production IG produced IGPX would premiere on this date in 2005, 15 years ago today. So 15 years ago today in Japan, IGPX, the Immortal Grand Prix, would debut in Japan on TV Asahi, I believe what that is. Yeah, TV Asahi. So on this date, 15 years ago today, IGPX and Mortal Grand Prix would premiere on TV Asahi. So that's all that we have for this day in Nietzsche history. I thank you guys for joining me tonight. We're actually coming up. We're almost getting close to the 2 hour mark. We're already at an hour and 48 minutes change there. So I thank you guys for joining me tonight. Tomorrow night we will be continuing the comics retrospect. We'll be trying to finish up 1935, getting into 1936 a little bit here. Hopefully, Backup will be here to join me. If not, I will open up the studio for anybody who would like to be co-host. So be mindful of that. Damn, I remember Mortal Grand Prize in magazines when I was young. Maybe Flux magazine. So I guess you were reading manga, Zena. All right, guys. Well, thank you again for joining me tonight, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.